Ever wondered how to turn a dull, tired car into a head turner with a flawless paint job? In this video, I'm showing you exactly how it's done, start to finish. We'll grind away old paint and rust, smooth everything out with body filler, then carefully mask off every panel so we keep those lines crisp. From spraying the primer coat to laying down that rich color and topping it off with a glossy clear. I'll break down each step so you can do it yourself, even if it's your first time, and just look at this transformation. That's not magic, it's all technique, and today you're going to learn it. So grab a seat, hit that like button if you're ready, and let's dive into how to spray paint a car like a true pro. All right, take a good look at this. Deep scratches running across the fender, scuffs and chips on the door, and look at this pillar. It's covered in swirl marks and faded paint. Most people would say this car's finished, right? That it's too far gone, not worth the time or money. But today we're going to prove them wrong, because every scratch you see here is about to disappear. We're not just covering it up, we're rebuilding this surface from the ground up. We'll grind it down, smooth it out, fill in the scars, and layer on fresh paint so deep you can practically swim in it. By the end of this video, these panels won't even look like the same car. So stick around, because if you've ever doubted whether a DIY paint job could look professional, you're about to see exactly how it's done. All right, so now it's time for one of the most important parts of this whole job, grinding down the old paint. You might think, can't we just scuff it a little and spray over it? But trust me, if you want that paint to stick and look flawless, you've got to start fresh. Right here, we're using a sander with 80 grit to chew through the old layers. Feel that vibration, hear that hum. That's years of scratches, fading, and failed old clear coat getting erased. It's actually kind of satisfying, right? Watching all that tired, beat-up paint disappear panel by panel. As we go, make sure you keep the sander moving. Don't stay in one spot too long or you'll create low spots. And don't forget the edges and those tricky curves around the wheel arch. That's where a lot of people miss, and then later wonder why their paint peels. By the time we're done here, we'll have a nice, even surface that's ready for body filler and primer. Keep watching, because this is the foundation that's going to make the final paint pop like glass. All right, now that we've finished grinding, it's time for the next step, body filler. A lot of people overcomplicate this, but honestly, it's pretty straightforward. You're not performing surgery here, you're just spreading a layer to rebuild the surface. So here's what we're doing. We've mixed up a fresh batch of filler, and we're simply laying it over the low spots and scratches. There's no secret magic technique. Just press it on with steady, even pressure. Use your spreader to push it into every little groove so it bonds well. Work it back and forth, overlap your passes, and try not to overthink it. If it's a little uneven right now, don't worry. That's what sanding is for later. Also, make sure you apply it slightly past the repair area. That gives you room to feather it out later, so your final surface blends perfectly into the rest of the panel. And remember, body filler starts to harden pretty quick, so don't waste time. Mix small batches until you get comfortable. That's really all there is to it. No fancy tricks, just patience and a good eye. Once this sets up, we'll start shaping it to get that panel perfectly straight within your... All right, now comes the part that really shapes your work. Sanding the body filler. This is where we turn that rough patch into something that feels like it grew right out of the panel. We're starting with about 80 to 120 grit sandpaper, working in nice even strokes. Don't press too hard, let the paper do the job. If you push too much, you'll dig valleys into the filler, and we'll be chasing low spots all day. Move your hand in a crosshatch pattern. Go one way, then the other. This helps level things out beautifully and avoids waves. And be patient. You'll feel it under your hand. At first, it's lumpy and high. Then as you keep going, it starts to smooth out. That's when you know it's blending into the original panel. Always run your palm over it. Close your eyes if you have to. Your hand will catch imperfections your eyes might miss. And remember, it doesn't have to be 100% perfect yet. After this, we'll hit it with finer grits and a guide coat to dial it in even more. For now, just focus on getting a nice, even shape. Trust the process. You'll be amazed how good it looks once we're done. Okay, as you can see now, we've filled in all those low spots with body filler. It's looking nice and even across the panel. Now we're just going to go ahead and sand it down again. This step is crucial to make sure everything blends perfectly with the original surface. And look at this. Feel how smooth that is. Honestly, it's like glass. Now it's completely ready for primer. In the next step, we'll start masking off the car to protect everything we don't want overspray on. And then we're on to priming. This is where it really starts coming together. All right, now we're going to go ahead and mask off the car. This part might seem a bit boring, but trust me, it's one of the most important steps. You don't want any overspray landing on glass, trim, or panels you're not painting. So take your time here. Run your tape clean and tight along the edges, and use good quality masking paper so the paint doesn't bleed through. It's also a chance to double check your work. As I'm taping, I'm always feeling around, making sure the panels still feel smooth and there's no dust or little chips stuck anywhere. Because once we lay down that primer, every tiny flaw will show. And these are the products I'm using. Nothing fancy, but they get the job done right. Quick shot stirring primer, maybe pouring into the gun. And now it's time to start spraying. When you're laying down primer, you want to keep your gun moving at a steady pace, about 6 to 8 inches from the panel. Don't rush it. Let the primer flow out nice and even. I usually go for 2 to 3 coats just to make sure we've fully covered the filler and got a solid foundation for our paint to stick to. Overlap each pass by about 50% so you don't end up with stripes or dry spots. Yeah, so here we are. Everything's prepped, sanded, primed, and masked up. This is honestly one of my favorite moments in the whole process. Just look at it. Perfectly taped off, no dust, no overspray worries. It's all clean and ready to go. All the hard work we did before this, grinding, filling, sanding, that's what makes this stage so satisfying. Because when the paint finally hits this surface, it's going to lay down smooth and flawless. And this is also the moment to double check everything. Run your hand over the panels, look for any tiny nibs or pinholes you might have missed. It's way easier to fix them now than after the paint's on. This is what sets apart a rush job from a pro-looking finish. All right, now it's finally time to lay down our color, and here's where it might look a bit shocking to some of you. I'm actually going to turn my spray gun upside down and start spraying from the bottom, working my way up, down, and up, down, and up. Sounds kind of backwards, right? But there's a good reason for it. By spraying upward like this, we can really get under the edges and make sure we're covering all the primer thoroughly. It also helps avoid dry spots on those tricky lower panels. Plus, flipping the gun like this lets the fan pattern flow differently, which sometimes gives you a better angle, especially on lower doors and rockers. So yeah, it might look weird, but you can absolutely paint a car this way. The main thing is keeping your distance consistent, about 6 to 8 inches from the panel, and overlapping each pass by around 50%. Nice and steady, let the gun do the work, and pretty soon we'll have this whole car wrapped in a fresh, beautiful coat of color.